When we recognize that we have a true self and a false self, a conditioned mind, this conditioned mind is who we learned to be. And that conditioned mind is fear-based, as it has been with us through eons of genetic lines. We call this fear-based conditioned mind me, I, or self. But this premise is not correct. This is not the self. This is not the me, and this is not the I. This fear-based conditioned mind is a learned protection mechanism. This mechanism is looking at what is wrong, what could go wrong in any situation and over all time. It does this because we as humans handed over our instincts and our intuition of the spleen to this conditioned mind thousands of years ago. This fear-based mind measures what is good and what is bad, what is safe and what is not safe. And yet, this measurement comes from a false reality. A reality that has been presented to us through the opinions of others. This false reality then creates a belief inside of us, and we accumulate all these conditioned beliefs, and we run our lives based on this conditioned mind pattern. This is like sitting in a horror film 24/7. The ominous music has you fearing what can happen next. And we all know how this movie makes us feel. Tense, anxious, worried, playing small. When we make decisions from this fear-based conditioned mind, the normal way for this conditioned mind to think is embedded in discontent, because it is measuring from the space of never having enough. Too scared to take the leap and pissed off that it isn't taking the leap. Our minds do not need to be healed. As Ra Uru Hu, the creator of the human design system, would say, the conditioned mind just has to be relieved of decision maker. So anytime this conditioned mind wants to run my life, I say, hey, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that you're watching out for me. However, I trust my inner authority to guide me in my human experience. Once the mind is relieved of making decisions from this conditioned space, we can practice seeing the world from our own experience, the reality instead of the false reality. Frustration cannot lead to satisfaction. Anger cannot lead to peace. Bitterness cannot lead to success, and disappointment cannot lead to awe. Why? Frustration, bitterness, anger, and disappointment are all mental states of a conditioned mind, bringing dis-ease, disrepair, discontent. That's what happens when we let the conditioned mind make our decisions. These are habitual trains of thought and patterns that lead to a looping effect of the same dis-ease, disrepair, and discontent. Satisfaction, peace, success, and awe are cellular sensations within the body, your meat suit, your humanness, that can only be experienced by trusting the true self and letting the inner authority be the decision maker. So once the decision-making process is removed from the conditioned self, the potential of our human design can actually be experienced. Conditioned mind is never going away. However, don't let it weigh in on decisions. The moment the shoulda, woulda, coulda is rolling around in the thought pattern, recognize the conditioned mind is trying to convince you of something. This is the awareness Ra speaks of. Be aware of the conditioned mind and never give it merit when it comes to decisions. We have established the conditioned mind is not designed for decision making. So what about the subconscious mind? What is its role? The role of that subconscious mind is to be the connection to the electromagnetic of your fractal. This connection is how we decode the movie of our life. So instead of watching a horror film, the movie we are designed to watch and the people we are designed to interact with show up. And we can share and empower one another at deep levels, accepting the diversity and relishing in these connections. This is the human experience. That's what it is designed for. Recognize the two levels of your mind. Use the inner authority to make decisions and watch how beautiful life really can be.